UFC 303 takes place this weekend, and the main event is an epic rematch between two of the most wild fighters on the entire roster, as the UFC's reigning defending light heavyweight champion Alex Poatan Pereira takes on the former champion, the Czech Republic's Jiri Prochazka. This is the MMA Casuals Guide. Stay right here. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into the main event. We'll start with the red corner, the UFC's newest big star, the Brazilian knockout threat known as Poatan, Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is back in the octagon for the second time this year and is ready to defend his belt yet again. At UFC 300, Alex Pereira had a brutal knockout win in the main event over former champion Jamal Hill. Alex Pereira, all things considered, is a newcomer to the promotion and the sport, but has accomplished so much in such a short time. Going 7-1 in the UFC, with 5 of his 7 wins coming by way of knockout, the former Glory Kickboxing 2-division world champion brings a unique style of kickboxing, which includes world-class leg kicks and unbelievable power in his left hand. In the first round of their previous matchup, Prochazka was leading the dance, winning the first round on every judge's scorecard. In the second round, Jiri seemed to hurt Poatan again when, out of nowhere, Pereira landed his patented left hand and quickly ended the fight after that. Poatan looks to add on to his quickly growing legacy by adding another ruby to his belt, but in order to do that, he has to go through an absolute madman, the Czech Republic's Jiri Prochazka.
Hey.
My personal favorite fighter on the planet, the former champion Jiri Prochazka, similar to his opponent this weekend, had a brutal finish of his own at UFC 300. A fight of the year contender that saw Jiri finish Alexander Rakic via TKO. Jiri is well known for his unique training regimen and lifestyle in general. The man lives his life according to the Bushido Code and is an absolute samurai and warrior in every sense of the word. Stylistically, Jiri is an anomaly, an insanely dangerous striker who moves a ton and throws everything from awkward angles. He also has some underrated grappling and submission skills that he showed off in the 5th round against Glover Teixeira to win his world title. The main event was originally supposed to be the return of the notorious Conor McGregor versus Iron Michael Chandler, but that fight was scrapped due to injury, and that left the UFC scrambling to find a main event for International Fight Week, and I could not think of a better matchup for it. Props to both of these warriors for taking this huge spot on short notice. The first fight was absolute fireworks and even had what many consider the best stare down in UFC history, and I expect more of the same in this one. No chance in hell that this fight doesn't deliver. I cannot wait. Moving on to the co-main event, we will see former title contender Brian T-City Ortega face off against another Brazilian overnight sensation, Diego Lopez. Let's start with the red corner, T-City, Brian Ortega.
Performance of the night. We just got, what is it, 50K? Let's go. We staying in Mexico longer.
The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Brian T-City Ortega is back in action for the second time this year. Earlier in the year, he defeated Yair Rodriguez via submission. Ortega is one of the toughest fighters in the entire UFC and puts on a show every time he walks out to the octagon. Known for arguably the slickest jiu-jitsu and submission skills in the entire promotion, Ortega is no slouch on the feet as well. He has some crisp boxing and some decent power to boot. Ortega in a recent interview stated that he intends to move up to 155 pounds, but the UFC called him for this short notice opportunity and he could not turn it down. A lot of fans are wondering where Ortega fits in the division at 145 pounds. He has losses to the two previous champions, Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, but has yet to face the new champion, Ilia Topuria. With a win here, Ortega would for sure throw his name on the short list for title shots at 145 pounds, so the move to 155 is a little confusing for a bunch of fans. Ortega looks to get his second win of the year and defend his number 3 ranking against the very risky and dangerous lower ranked opponent, Diego Lopez. Similar to Alex Pereira, Diego Lopez has quickly risen to UFC superstardom. The 29-year-old debuted just a bit over a year ago in May of 2023, and on that night he had a close decision loss versus the undefeated Movsar Evloev. But in that fight he showed his heart, his skill, and ability in a fight that nobody expected to be close. Since that night, Diego Lopez has gone 3-0 with 3 straight finishes in the octagon. Mostly known for his jiu-jitsu skills, Diego recently has shown the ability to knock opponents out cold and is probably the most feared up-and-comer in the entire featherweight division. The future looks bright for Lopez, and he plans on being world champion soon, but in order to continue this meteoric rise to the top, he's going to have to beat a battle-tested opponent who's a massive step up in competition. It feels a bit like the old guard versus the new. Ortega versus Lopez on paper promises to be an exciting fight with Fight of the Night written all over it. We will also see a 22-fight UFC veteran and former title challenger Anthony Lionheart Smith. Smith looks to get on a bit of a streak after his last fight at UFC 301, where he beat the undefeated Vitor Petrino by submission. He will be defending his number 10 spot in the UFC's light heavyweight rankings against the UFC's number 10 ranked middleweight, the Georgian grappler Roman Dolidze, who is an absolute beast and insanely strong grappler. A huge fight opens up the main card as one of the most talked about fighters on the entire roster, the undefeated Irish sensation Ian Machado Garry, steps into the cage. He will face a striker with arguably one of the best highlight reels of all time, the United Kingdom's MVP, Michael Venom Page. Both of these guys are controversial, they're both entertaining, they're either loved or hated by damn near everyone in the MMA community. This should be an absolute banger to open up this card. Guys, that wraps up the main card. Really quickly on the prelims, we will see Joe Body Bags Pyfer. Cub Swanson versus Andre Fili should be an entertaining fight. Charles Air Jourdain versus Jean Silva will be a don't blink kind of fight. We'll see the third appearance for yet another fast rising star, Peyton Talbot. Friend of the channel and former UFC heavyweight champion Andre the Pitbull Arlovski is on this card. And last but not least, of course, we'll see the return of Loke Dog Vinicius Oliveira as he takes on the always tough Ricky Simone. Guys, UFC 303 Pereira versus Prochazka takes place this weekend, International Fight Week in Las Vegas, Nevada at the T-Mobile Arena. If you enjoyed, please do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to us. You can also help support us by following on Instagram at the107MMA, the same way it's spelled on this very channel. I'm Dino Bam Bam. This was the MMA Casuals Guide. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.